You're unbelievable.
You're very impressed with yourself, aren't you? I have my moments.
Hey, what's up, Xbox and YouTube world? This is Barney as God from iGamerDie.com. I am bringing you my 5th episode of Barney's Secret Public Diary entitled Random Rules. Now, these are going to be rules that, people generally do, maybe universally, but it's not conscious. Like, you don't think that it's a rule, it's just, something that you do. It's basically going to be things that aren't very obvious, but they're rules nonetheless. So, let me get to it. The first one is the groin to ass rule. Now, this is, something that is more applicable to guys than girls, but everyone, wherever you live, there's usually going to be like a mom and pop shop or, a public store that's going to have aisles that aren't just accustomed for, people walking side by side. Said differently, it's the aisles that aren't very wide, they're very skinny, and, especially if one person's coming from one end of the aisle and you're coming from the other, it's going to make for a very awkward passing of each other. So, to minimize sort of the awkwardness, there's something called groin to ass rule. So, typically, if two guys are trying to pass each other in a very skinny aisle, they do the ass to ass maneuver. So, what this is you turn and, you don't look at each other, you don't make it awkward, you just you turn and you side shuffle with your asses sort of facing each other. Now, that's fine. Now, the rule is violated when some D-bag, some douchebag, he decides to go groin to ass. And, so you're turning, you're side shuffling with your ass facing towards him, and he turns front ways, so, like, his groin is, matched up with your ass. And there's nothing really much you can do about it. Like, you can't see the guy, but, I'm sure he's side shuffling with his groin pointed at your ass, smiling like a maniacal D-bag and villain. But there's not much you can do about it. But in future reference, if you're ever encountered with a very skinny aisle and it's not very wide, you gotta do an ass-to-ass maneuver side shuffle, because that's an honorable way of doing it, and it minimizes awkwardness. And that sort of brings me to rule number 2, whistling at a bathroom stall. Now, it's applicable to wall stalls in the men's bathroom. I think guys, when they go to the bathroom, it's sort of like a blitzkrieg maneuver. You want to go in, you've got an objective, you're out, and you wash your hands, and it's out of there. It's not, socialized kind of thing where you meet up with your friends, you're like, hey, meet me up in the bathroom, let's talk about stuff. No, that's stupid and borderline fairy-like. No, women do that, they go to the bathrooms and it's sort of this huge event, they've got couches in there because they lounge about. Guys don't have couches in their bathrooms because, we don't give a shit about your feelings, we about each other's feelings, of course, there are people in our lives that we care about, but the bathroom in that context, and you're taking a piss, you don't really, you want to minimize your level of social contact with everybody else there. No one wants to piss beside another dude who's whistling the theme song to the Titanic. That's just weird, it's awkward, and you're in and you're out. So that's rule number 2. The third rule is know your present day pecking order. And pecking order in terms of physical attractiveness, mental aptitude, intelligence, stuff like that. And I say present day because the future can always change. You can always, work out. You can always groom yourself a little bit better. You can go to school, pick up a book, increase your level of intelligence tenfold. But a lot of people, they think to themselves, oh, why can't I get Sally Sue, the hottest girl in my school? Why doesn't she want to do me? And all I gotta say to that is, just strip down, be butt naked, stand in front of a mirror, and if you look at yourself and say to yourself, hey, I would never want to fuck me with a meter-long stick with someone else's dick because I am butt-fuck ugly, don't expect anyone else to either. That's what I'm trying to say. So, know where your limitations are as a person, and I know that's horrible to say, but I say present day category because that can always change. You can always improve yourself in many different variety of ways and sort of improve your chances for a potential suitor. But I really hate, and this goes for girls too, don't expect, you know, the opposite sex to be soap opera guys when you don't look like Victoria's Secret models. The very last rule, this kind of will make me sound like an ultra douchebag just because the last rule is about knowing your pecking order. And I say present day pecking order and you can always improve, yada yada yada. But the last rule is be humble. I have no idea why I wrote this list in this order, or why, you know, I decided to include this last one anyhow. But don't be like an asshole. Be humble. And I say this because, like, and this holds true especially in the professional world. When you're in the professional world and you're working a very professional career, there's always going to be a guy, no matter how much you work hard, you know, no matter how bright you are, there's always going to be a guy that has more experience or in some different avenue has more to offer the position than you do. Be humble. I mean, when you accomplish something, don't be a loudmouth about it. You can celebrate. I mean, if you want to put it like a Facebook status up there, like, oh shit, I got first place, look at my ribbon, you know, tag yourself on a picture, that's fine. But don't be that guy at a cocktail party who's ringing off all his accomplishments and successes and achievements, because ultimately, if you've got to do that, it makes it seem like you're the type of individual that just doesn't have too much to offer above surface level. Now, the thing is too, is you never really know. There's going to be a coworker, you know, a classmate that is more accomplished than you, and in their mind, when they're listening to you ring this off, they're going to be thinking in their head, wow, this guy just does not know anything. And when it comes down to you needing their help for a particular thing, and you know you're definitely going to need their help, they're not going to help you out. So again, just to recap the rules: number 1, groin to ass rule; number 2, whistling in the bathroom; number 3, know your present day pecking order and always know that you can improve it. So, you know, improve yourself if you're not happy with where you are. And the final rule is be humble. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed my 5th public secret diary entry. My name is Barney. I should have said Barney's Secret Public Diary. But in any event, hope you guys have a great day. Make good decisions. See you later. Bye.